Hey guys, what's going on? Mr. Simonini here. This video is all about graphing in standard form, so I'm going to do an example with you. In the last video, remember we did vertex form already, and then we answered those questions that are, the parts of what's the vertex, max, domain, and range, and all that stuff. So this video is all about standard form. So I'm going to go ahead and go to number 2. So if you look at number 2, again, this quadratic is in standard form because you have it A, B, and C. So this is in standard form. So with standard form, you have an A, which is 3 in this case, your B is 12, your C is 9. And what you're going to do is you're going to find the x of the vertex in this case. So the x of the vertex in this example is going to be the opposite of B over 2A. It's that formula that I told you last week. In this case, it's going to be negative 12 over 2 times 3, which is going to be negative 12 over 6, which is going to be negative 2. So once you get that, I'm going to go ahead and start my table. Remember that your vertex goes in the middle. Now you have to find the y of the vertex. So in order to find the y of the vertex, you plug in your answer from the x of the vertex into the equation. So I'm going to plug in negative 2 into my equation here. So this is going to be 3, and then don't forget parentheses. Parentheses negative 2 squared plus 12 times negative 2 plus 9. And you get an answer. Again, you go to decimals.com if you need help on that. I already have it plugged in. So if you look there, it's plugged in. I get an answer of negative 3. So I'm going to come over here. I get an answer of negative 3. So my vertex is going to be negative 2, negative 3. Now, just to be clear, you're going to want to do 2 numbers before negative 2 and 2 numbers after negative 2 because you have to create your table. Now be careful, negatives are a little tricky. 2 numbers are before negative 2 are technically negative 3 and negative 4. And 2 numbers after negative 2 would be negative 1 and 0. These are actually interchangeable. So if you put 0, negative 1 up top, and then you put negative 3, negative 4 in the bottom, you get the same answer. But I just want to be consistent. Anyways, go ahead and go to decimals. I already have it graphed. So if you look here, you plug it in. I already plugged in. You go to your gear, you hit your table, and then you have to just put these in by your x's by yourself. So in this case, our vertex was negative 2. And then 2 numbers before was negative 3 and negative 4. And then 2 numbers after would be negative 1 and 0. So if you look there, I get those 5 points. So now I'm going to come here. So this was negative 3, 0. This was 9. This is 0, and this was 9. I'm going to go ahead and plot my points. So I'm going to do it in red. So negative 2, negative 3. It's right there. And then negative 3, 0. Negative 1, 0. And then 0, 9, which would be up here. And then negative 4, 1, 2, 3. Negative 4, 9 would be right there. And then you have your parabola. Now let's answer the questions. So the vertex in this case is going to be negative 2, negative 3. My vertex, since it opens up, is going to be a min in this example. My domain is always negative infinity to positive infinity. Since it's opening up, my range is it's going to be my bottom y to infinity. So in this case, it's going to be negative 3 to infinity. How many solutions are there? In other words, how many x-intercepts are there? How many x-intercepts are there in this example? Well, there is 2. So there are 2 solutions, or 2 x-intercepts. And in this case, end up being okay because a y-intercept shows up in my graph and my table. It shows up in a lot of spots. Again, if you were wondering, you could always do this as well. You always plug in 0 in for x in order to get the y-intercept. That's a really important rule. Now in this case, this will be 0, this will be 0, so your y-intercept is 9. So that's just another way of looking at it. So again, your answer for your y-intercept in this case would be 0, 9. All right, anyways, that's how you graph in standard form. Please let me know if you have any questions on it. Thanks.